Still nothing, y'all, as we sit here patiently waiting for NBA 2K25 news. This week, we're supposed to be receiving my player and my career news. But as 2K does what 2K does, looks like they're waiting for the last minute to drop this information. I'm just confused as to why they put the week of August 5th, and we're here on August 7th, and we got nothing. It's all good, though. In this video, we're going to be covering everything Mike Wang sent out for all four categories: shooting, playmaking, finishing, and defense. If any of you guys missed anything, this will be the video to help you catch up. If you're new here, drop a like, drop a sub. Let's get to the video.
It's AllCity. Load up that clip.
I'm the god, the GOAT, the Grandmaster Young Sensei. The joint is recording? My bad, y'all. I was just practicing the 10 ways to being a better you in 10 days affirmations by Swante. Go check them out. You can get it on Amazon for 29 cents. I honestly thought that Sim Nation drama was already over with. Wake up this morning and see an hour-long video posted by Swante. Apparently, he seemed bothered that I remained impartial on the topic. The crazy part is I really didn't even want to make that video. If 2K wasn't so dry, I wouldn't have even considered it. It is what it is. I know a lot of you guys, you expect better of me, and my intention going forward is to deliver that. If any of you guys missed it and you want to catch up, I have a link right up top. Now let's get to the real news. Everything that 2K25 has to offer, everything we know so far. As you guys know, Mike Wang, he did a bunch of Q&As and was answering a bunch of stuff on Twitter. By the way, last night, Mike Wang got hacked. I did a video on that as well. It's still not confirmed if he actually got his account back. This video will have chapters below for easy navigation for you guys, and they'll be separated by categories. This way you could go to the category of your preference for anything new that's coming out for 2K25. The largest category of information that's been released has been about shooting. I have a feeling it's going to be a hella offensive heavy year. In this first post, Mike Wang, he confirms that hot zones will definitely be coming back for 2K25. He says hot zones still give you a small boost to your shot ratings. In this next post, Mike Wang confirms lethals are also coming back for 2K25, but the design is a little bit different. Mike Wang says instead of automatically working on 2 zones and it lasting 1 week, there's 3 versions / options to choose from. Week 1 equals 1 zone, week 2 equals 2 zones, and week 3 equals 3 zones. You're now able to get 3 lethal zones for NBA 2K25. And for the 3-week version, you guys will have to face off against lethal shooter. I'm sure the 2K community will appreciate any mechanic that gives you more lethal zones. And matter of fact, before I make the assumption, did you guys really like lethal zones in 2K24? Like, did you find them to be effective? Share your thoughts in the comments. Definitely curious to hear your feedback. And how about them free throws this year? It was probably one of the most difficult shots to make on 2K24. Nothing about free throws was free. Mike Wang says free throws have been retuned based on feedback from NBA 2K24. They work similarly to last year, but the free throw rating plays a bigger role in the calculation to prevent low-rated free throw players from being overly effective. I have no idea why 2K is concerned with people being overly effective with their free throws. And what I found the most strange about free throws on 2K24 is that my lowest free throw rated player, my center build with 0 attributes added to the free throw, he was able to green free throws at a very similar clip to some of my players who had a higher free throw attribute. So whatever new system they have for free throws for 2K24, in my opinion, that joint was just broken and they need to go back to what it used to be. That's my personal opinion. I would love to hear your take on it. Sound off in the comments. Now let's get into rhythm shooting, because there's like a huge topic of discussion within the 2K community. You're supposed to receive an additional boost for using this new mechanic called rhythm shooting. I'll share my understanding of it and then you guys let me know if you agree or not. Mike Wang was asked how does shot feedback work for rhythm shooting. Mike says when using rhythm shooting, there are 2 main factors to consider: push timing and the tempo. Mike goes on saying push timing is the point you start to move the pro stick, which you want to do the moment your player reaches the set point of the shot. Tempo is the speed at which you move the pro stick to the opposite side of your original stick throw. The goal here is to finish the stick deflection to the opposite side exactly to match the point the ball releases from your player's fingertips. Now, my basic understanding of this is that you're going to hit down. Let's say you hit down to start your jump shot. As your player jumps and reaches the peak of his jump, that's when you begin to move the stick in the opposite direction you started from. It seems to me that you guys have paid closer attention to his arm movement for the release, matching the momentum / tempo of his arm movement until he actually releases the rock. That's been my understanding of it since I first read that. Definitely curious to see how you guys translated that. Sound off, share your thoughts in the comments. In my opinion, considering 2K servers, this all seems a bit too complex. It seems to me the latency us players receive when we play 2K online just wouldn't allow us to take full advantage of this new mechanic. Do you guys remember instant greens? Like as soon as you shot the rock, you would receive that instant green feedback. In NBA 2K24, it was different. You had to wait to see if the rock went in. In my opinion, I actually like it better that way. Curious to see what you guys think. When Mike Wang was asked, are instant green animations coming back? He says, there's a new shot feedback option called Simple in the customized HUD menu. This will display your timing feedback immediately once you release your shot. If you want full shot feedback, which includes defensive coverage, you'll want to change the visibility setting to all shots. But as it stands for 2K25, full shot feedback is delayed, just like it was in NBA 2K24. And now let's talk about the new shot meters. A lot of you guys may have seen the new shot meter in the 2K25 trailer. Mike Wang, he was asked how are shot meters changed in 2K25. We got a glimpse of one in the trailer and it looked a bit more transparent than in previous 2Ks. Mike Wang, he responds by saying the shot meter works pretty differently in NBA 2K25 compared to previous games. There are 3 options to choose from. You have arrow, which you guys saw in the trailer, but you also have ring and dial. Rather than freezing when you release the shot button, all of the meters animate from beginning to end, in sync with the ideal time to release the button, which should work well for those folks who choose to use the rhythm shooting mechanic. Mike Wang continues on by saying, think of it more as a timeline of the shot animation rather than a traditional meter. The ideal time to release the button is the exact frame the meter disappears from your screen. One of the main benefits of this change is that shot meters are much more accurate online, and I find that to be absolutely cap. I'll believe it when I see it. Mike Wang goes on to say, so you no longer need to compensate for latency when you're shooting shots, layups, or free throws online. The size of your shot meter, color, and placement of the shot meter is fully customizable in the customized HUD screen. And yes, there is still a small bonus for playing with the meter off. I mean, come on, how many of you guys are still meter demons out there, man? Take off the training wheels, for Christ's sake. I'm gonna keep an eye on this particular new mechanic because he went out his way to say that it should help when you're playing in online game modes, and that if you really pay attention to your shot meter, you won't have to worry about latency. I want to see if that holds up to be true in 2K25. 2K, they're also introducing shot timing profiles, and this will determine how user timing affects your shots in game. I thought this was only going to be for offline game modes, but apparently this is going to apply online as well. You get 5 options: difficulty based, real player percentage, low risk reward, normal risk reward, and high risk reward. Mike Wang, he was asked to elaborate on how shot timing profiles will work in 2K25. Mike Wang says, with low risk reward, you can still make shots if your timing is slightly off, but the bonus for good timing is much smaller. With high risk, the green window is larger with a bigger bonus, but there's no margin for error if you miss. Mike goes on to say, if you're terrible at shot timing, low will let you be somewhat competent if you take high IQ shots, but will actually handicap you if you're great at shot timing. The better you are at shot timing, the higher risk reward you want to play on. And from what we've come to understand, it seems like low risk is where you'll have some RNG involved in there, and high risk leans more toward what we experience in 2K24, green or miss. In NBA 2K25, they're also introducing shot timing custom visual cues. This way you guys can customize exactly where you want to release the rock. It's definitely going to be an interesting year for shooters. So that pretty much wraps up the shooting category. It was the most information for shooting. The remaining 3 categories, finishing, playmaking, and defense, don't have nearly as much information. But we'll go through what we got and we'll start with finishing. Mike Wang says that quick scoop layups got a small nerf to better balance the risk versus reward of using those type of finishes. Man, in the beginning of 2K24, I was abusing those scoop layups. They ended up doing something to the scoop layups and they weren't as effective as they were in the beginning of the year. Mike Wang was asked, can you still jab step into a standing dunk meter? Mike responds, you can no longer perform jab steps when standing under the basket. You'll get pump fakes now instead. You cheesers, stop it. Mike, he was asked any changes to layup/dunk timing this year. He responds with this answer saying layup timing is optional and disabled by default, but I recommend turning it on if you want to gain an advantage as a slasher. Just like shots, there are separate layup timing profile options: real player percentage, low, normal, and high, so you can customize the setting to match your ability. Mike goes on to say dunk timing is always on for skilled dunks, but you can still dunk without using that particular mechanic. The dunk meter logic has also been improved, so instead of the window size being determined just at the start of the dunk, it dynamically adjusts throughout the entire dunk sequence to better reflect defensive impact. And didn't we hear this all before? I guess it's just the 2K way. Mike says there's going to be 500 new Pro Play dunk animations and 1,478 new Pro Play layup animations. And in case you missed it, Mike Wang says you can do controllable rim hangs on one-handed dunks in NBA 2K 2K25 by keeping right trigger held after you finish a dunk. How many of you guys got technical fouls for holding on to the rim too long in NBA 2K24? I swear y'all be trolling. That pretty much wraps up the finishing portion. As we get more information, I'll share it here. Now let's move on to playmaking. And Mike Wang, he has a lot to live up to because he said playmaking and dribbling, that was built from the ground up for NBA 2K25. How many of you guys believe that? Share your thoughts in the comments. When asked if dribble moves, have they gotten any improvements, Mike says there are two things that dribble heads are going to need to lab on. Many of the moves / combos that you pulled off last year, like the Sham God, are no longer done by branching from a right stick move to left stick movement. All of those advanced combos, they now moved to the right stick alone. In NBA 2K24, to perform certain dribble moves, you had to combine left stick movement with right stick movement. Mike saying in NBA 2K25 that's changed. Mike says dribble movement is very different. Launches, turns, stops, etc. and dribble styles can have a big effect on that field too. So you guys will need to experiment because strats and techniques from past 2Ks may not work this year, and you'll discover new ways to be effective. I ain't gonna front, sounds interesting. Mike says they're also adding a ton of new dribble styles, from 25 last year to 37 in NBA 2K25. More importantly, each dribble style is filled with authentic pro play data now. Mike goes on to say last year's dribble styles might have had 4 or 5 unique animations per style, while NBA 2K25's dribble styles have around 20 to 40 unique pro play sequences from that player. The new engine is driven by at least 6 times the amount of motion data as previous 2Ks. It's crazy. Now I just want to add some here because Mike, he always talks a good game prior to release. Considering that we're going to receive all these additional animations that Mike Wang is touting, we should see a noticeable difference in our movement for 2K25. Not slight differences, noticeable big differences in 2K25. And that's just going off the strength of what Mike Wang is saying. How many of you guys think we're going to see that substantial, significant difference in dribbling in 2K25? Sound off, share your thoughts in the comments. Now in regard to passing, Mike was asked, are there any changes to the passing mechanics of this game? Mike answers, there are a number of improvements to passing overall, but the most noticeable is the improved lob pass logic. Targeting on lobs is much better in NBA 2K25 and is really great for advanced passes or leading a receiver to the basket over a trailing defender. Control-wise, bounce alley-oops are now triggered contextually and self-alleys have been moved to cross plus circle. Man, I got used to double tapping triangle to throw myself a self-lob. And I just want to mention one thing, especially going through all my clips that I saved throughout the year, especially in the beginning of the year. Alley-oops were beautiful in the beginning of the year. We had tons of clips catching alley-oops. But in one of those patches, alley-oops, they just went straight to the trash. And I find it strange how something that works so well in the beginning of the year changes so drastically by the end of the year. It's almost like we can't believe anything that Mike Wang is saying. And that wraps up the playmaking portion, everything we know about playmaking so far. Now let's get into defense. As 2K, they're touting a whole new, brand new defensive movement system. It says here, by utilizing the right stick on defense, you can control your player and quickly slide laterally into position to cut off an offensive player's attack. Goes on to say successfully reading the ball handler and anticipating their drive with a successful cutoff can stonewall the offense or cause them to fumble the ball. And I had seen a defensive animation in the trailer where the dude was driving and he got stripped. Now, if some of you guys are new to 2K, this is an old mechanic and it was a hella broken mechanic. In fact, small guards used to just stay in the paint while crazy slashers will be going to drive and they'll just strip them on the way up. We took so long to get rid of that mechanic. Hopefully they're not just reintroducing it as something new for 2K25. I do like the idea of being able to use your right stick to cut off ball handlers. I like that idea, but will it work? 2K hasn't gotten it right in I don't know how many years. We'll see what's to come for 2K25. Make 2K great again sent Mike this message saying, tired of anticipating the Jamal Murray behind the back and not getting a bump, the ball hitting my leg or something. Mike responds, in NBA 2K25, you can anticipate those moves and bump the dribbler. He'll fumble the ball. The higher the delta between the defender and the ball handler, the easier it'll be to force fumbles. Looks like bump steals are coming back for 2K25, but will they be the most effective way for low steal attribute players to get steals for the game? I really wish 2K did something about them bump steals, especially when you get a clamp animation that continues to move the ball handler forward, making it easy for anybody to just step up and get a bump steal. Boomy asks, hey Baluba, does the new cutoff moves on defense cost you guys adrenaline? Mike responds, nope. Savon asks, how does height factor in to shot contests this year? Mike responds, height and interior/perimeter ratings are much stronger factors in the contest calculations this year. Huh? Another thing I have to believe when I see. Quay A asked, with the new cutoff defense, are Rice Stick Steals gone now? You guys were going crazy with Rice Stick Ripper in NBA 2K24. Just ask Joe Knows. Mike ends up responding saying you can still do Rice Stick Steals by releasing Intense D, holding L2. With the trigger held, you guys will now get those cutoff moves. Now in black and white, everything seems to have improved logic for NBA 2K25, but that's the thing with 2K. In black and white, they can make anything sound good. It's the execution. That's where things become a problem. I guess the question is, do you guys think NBA 2K is going to implement and execute all this stuff well? Y'all be sure to sound off, share your thoughts in the comment section below. If any of you guys are new here, drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join the AllCity 2K Discord. The link will be in the description below. Find players and get runs now. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.